This is the Amp Hour Podcast, recorded April 2nd, 2013. Episode 139, Obtaining Ostentatious Oculiforms.
Welcome to the Amp Hour. I'm Dave Jones from the EEV blog.
And I'm Chris Gamble of Chris Gamble's Analog Life.
Otherwise known as Winner Christopher J. Gamble.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
You are like going internally berserk. You're that excited.
I was. It's been a couple days now.
Until you realise you got to pay for it.
All right, well, we should back up first. First off, I'm not that lucky. But, okay, even further back.
You think?
Yeah. So, I have been chosen as one of the first 8,000 people to be allowed.
We are not worthy.
Allowed to go to New York, San Francisco, or L.A. and hand over $1,500 to Larry Page and Sergey Brin.
Personally?
I hope. That'd be cool.
Give it to him all in pennies.
Oh, God, that's a good idea.
That'd be hilarious. That would, seriously, take a video camera along and give it to them as a bag of freaking pennies. That would go viral.
Yeah.
That video would go viral. I kid you not.
Yeah.
Nerd turns up to Google with bag of pennies to pay for. Seriously, I just thought of that. That is gold. That is worth the plane ticket and the $1,500.
I don't know, man. So 100 pounds or $100 in pennies is 60 pounds in pennies.
So
that's times 15.
Wimp? Are you a wimpy nerd? You can't lift up 60 pounds?
No, that's no. That's 900 pounds, Dave. That's $100 is 60 pounds. $1,500.
Well, put in a wheelbarrow or something.
Get the truck to back in, yeah. Yeah, so I'll have to pay.
Do dimes or something instead of pennies, right? That'll drop it by an order of magnitude, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, at least. Man.
Well, yeah. Probably.
Well, they're lighter around here, too.
A dime, but a dime's tiny, right?
Yeah, right.
A dime is like the smallest coin you have, isn't it?
Right. Yep.
Yeah, well, go to your bank and get $1,500 in dimes.
Let's see what that would be.
See if you can do the online calculation now. See if it's viable. I'm telling you, this is gold.
Yeah.
Is your YouTube channel set up to be monetized?
Not yet.
Do you get your partner? Well, put it on my channel. It'll go viral, and I'll cut you in on the proceeds.
Oh yeah. What a great deal! I won another contest, video. Folks. Dave has been willing to take pity on me.
It's good enough for Google.
Yeah.
Oh
exactly.
Yep.
I can't find the dimes thing. Shouldn't Wolfram Alpha have this? This seems like something that's useless.
I don't know. Come on, Google weight of dime.
Weight of dime times. I was doing like $1,500.
What is the weight of a pen? It's the first shot on Google. There, it's the first hit.
This is great radio.
There you go. It's 2.26 grams.
Yeah. Wow.
Ooh.
Oh, okay. It's 0.9 the mass of a U.S. penny, so that means that 100. So if 60 pounds is $100. Oh wait, no, that'd be less than.
Yeah, it's roughly an order of magnitude. Okay.
So it'd be about
it's also
$100 would be 5 pounds, basically. So yeah, that would be definitely doable. So it'd be
excellent.
60, 75,
like you carry it like
75
in a
pounds.
big like Santa sack,
Exactly. God, if the bottom broke open though, that'd be terrible.
That'd make for even funnier video. They have to pick it up off the ground personally.
Right. I could put on the Google Glass and spend all day picking up dimes.
Oh man, it's also the weight is also I've never heard of this term 0.08
drams.
Avoidrupus. Avoidrupus. What the hell is that? You learn something new on Google every day.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
Yeah, the avoidrup. It's on Wikipedia. There we go. Is the systems of weights. There you go. based on a pound of 16 ounces. There you go. Word of the day, folks.
Just another unit. We hope the imperial system will phase out at some point, like all the others.
We can put that as the title of the show.
Yeah. Okay. So Google Glass. Yep, I have to pay $1,500 to actually get them.
Plus the airfare to get there.
Plus the airfare to get there. Yep.
So how much would it cost you to get to? Where's the nearest location?
Probably New York's closest for me. It'll be in $200, and then food and subway fare,
accommodation to stay overnight.
Well, I'll stay with friends, but yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Plus the money you get. Plus the money you lose when you get mugged in New York, in Central Park.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's the 80s. It's the 80s, and everybody gets,
yeah, 80s, that's right.
The Ninja Turtles will come save me, Dave.
Yeah, that's it. Turtle power.
Yep.
All
yeah,
right.
so I don't know. It was very exciting. I mean, so and then I got interviewed by Chris Mims, who writes for Quartz, about it, because he had a similar reaction to you, like what the
photon?
Yeah. Why are you doing this? What is going on here?
You got to admit, to somebody who
I don't know. I'm confused about it myself. I just did it.
I know. It's like,
the only reason you didn't do it is because you forgot to put in a entry. It was just a social media thing.
I didn't even know about it.
See,
I didn't even know about it. But then again, if I read the rules and conditions, I would have just laughed at it and went, "No way."
Well, there's nothing saying I have to do it, but I plan to. So
no.
Yeah.
With a Santa sack full of dimes.
With a Santa sack full of dimes, of course. Maybe you could fly in. You could meet me there for the first time, and then
and I could film it. Then I could put on my. Hey,
there you go.
You want to know what the ironic thing is? If it went viral,
it would pay for
the
itself.
money, the advertising money would probably pay for my airfare to go over there.
There you go. There you go.
I'd probably need like 1 million views. I'd have to calculate how many views I needed to get enough YouTube advertising revenue on that video. Yeah, it's gold. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Well, you said you were jealous, though. I don't know. You said you were.
Well, I would. Well, I thought you had won it, right? You tweeted this thing. Oh, I've won Google Glass, and I thought, you bastard! Why didn't you tell me about this? And I was in a jealous rage, Right. And then I realised, he's got to pay for it. Sucked in. Yeah. There's no way I'd pay $1,500 for it.
Well, that's kind of the crazy.
500, maybe.
Yeah, that's kind of the crazy thing, though, too. So if you do the math, I mean, this is essentially a Google Kickstarter, right? I mean, it's 8,000 people times $1,500. That's a $12 million production run right there. That's a lot of dough. So, not like Google needs it.
Well, they need it because they're building them in California.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So that's the other piece of news with this, that they not only are they building it, they're planning. Well, news is that they're planning on building it in California, but also that it's Foxconn setting up a facility to do so in California. That's pretty crazy.
Right, because Google, as the world's richest company, doesn't have the money to set up their own manufacturing facility.
No, that's not. No. That's not the news about it. Not to me, at least. I mean, Google, of course they have enough money. They don't have money to do anything. They don't have the expertise.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Why don't they? Why don't they get freaking Foxconn? Right? Why don't they do what they sell? Why don't they use some of that cash to set up their own, right, we're Americans, yeah, America, USA, and we're going to set up our own manufacturing facility here.
Well, because the same reason, why don't you do your own server work, Dave?
Because I don't have $100 billion in the bank.
Why don't you do your own board assembly, Dave?
100,000 employees.
Why don't you make your own PCBs, Dave? I mean,
because I'm one dude.
No, this is no. Okay, no.
If I had Google's money, I'd set up my own PCB manufacturing facility.
Why would you possibly? You wouldn't. There is no way you would do that. Absolutely.
Of course I would.
No, you
wouldn't. I had $100 billion. I would just pay someone. I'd hire someone to set it up and manage it and do it. I'd buy my entire building, and then on each floor I'd have a different manufacturing facility.
That is silly. That is so silly. Why?
$100
wouldn't you
billion,
hire
who
the
gives a
best? Why
shit?
wouldn't you just hire the people who already do it already? High volume production. Why don't you just hire experts? Don't you do that for anything else? Didn't you do that when you were?
Because Australia has no freaking PCB manufacturing manufacturing capability left. That's why.
Oh, okay. So that's just a personal thing.
McFly.
Man, if
Right, yeah.
you don't see like, I mean, even like architect firms, like they don't hire just people locally because they hire the best. You hire the best for a reason.
We're not talking practicalities here. We're talking about being so filthy rich. You're sitting on a throne of cash that it's just a drop in the ocean, and you do it because it's fun and you want to.
Nah.
And you want to make
you don't stay filthy rich for long by doing that kind of stuff. That's my viewpoint on it. Yeah, maybe it is fun, but also the other thing about that is manufacturing is not fun most days. That's the dirty little secret.
That's why you hire some poor bastard to do it.
Then you're just outsourcing, and why not just outsource it to the experts? I totally disagree with
but at least you own it. You're not outsourcing. You own it. It's yours. You can just wander down there and say, "Make me this."
You still own it if you're using a CM. You still own it. Believe me. No, you're totally wrong on this. Our survey said I have to stand up to you more, and I am standing up to you on this one.
Right, somebody on there said you're a pussy, and your wife's got you on the short leash, and you need to stand up, you grow a set of balls.
Yeah. Whatever.
I'm not wrong. If you had $100 billion, you could do anything you
so
damn well
wrong.
like. You could hire anyone you like.
Dude,
man.
No, wrong.
Says someone who never buys lottery tickets for the dream of winning the cash so that you can do something like this.
Right, because I use my money for real stuff like eating and beer.
Oh, dude.
I don't know.
I spend enough time dreaming. That's your problem.
Maybe I should, but I wouldn't spend my money on that. I just don't think it's worth unless you're trying to do something super secretive, right? If you were trying, I mean, if they hadn't announced it at all, right, then maybe you do it, right? Apple did that.
I'd do it for the convenience sake.
There is no
if I had $100 billion bucks,
Dave.
There is. I could just wander downstairs to my personal manufacturing facility and say, "Drop all the jobs you got. Put mine through. Thank you very much."
You can do that with money. That's what you do with a CM. You say, "Here's a bucket of money."
I don't have the personal satisfaction of being able to walk downstairs and do it and have it in this country.
No, first off, they are going to be in this country. Well, or you in your country, whatever. But with Google, they're going to be in this country. They're hiring experts. It's like hiring consultants. I mean, it's not like you're not like just shipping them everything. They're setting up stuff here. At least initial runs.
It'd be so much cooler. Imagine if Google, we'd be ape shit over this, right? This would make our headline news for the next week's show if Google opened up their own hardware manufacturing facility right in California.
No. I wouldn't.
You would go berserk.
I would go. Okay, as a news item, sure, I would go berserk. But I've been meaning to talk about this on the show, anyways. So we've been talking about reshoring and all this other stuff. Like all these other. Manufacturing. Yeah, exactly. All this manufacturing moving back and how it's such a strong economic thing. Well, there is a dirty underbelly to all this stuff. Is that manufacturing is dirty and annoying and...
Oh, it's a shit job, yeah.
It's a crappy job. You have to work long hours. You have no life. I mean, if you're... unless you have a very strong structure system to hand off between shifts and you have, good... if you're on a... Like, when I was working in a fab... there are no hours. You're just there until you're done. It's like,
I know. I've worked on 24-hour manufacturing facilities. I know what I'm...
I mean, maybe since you're footing the bill, maybe because you're footing the bill, but in that case, why not just hire people from the beginning? Then you don't have to go hire them. You don't have to go train them, Ugh. Why?
Because
Google...
there's a satisfaction to having your own company to do that.
With a CM, they effectively are your company. You're renting them. If you're paying them enough money,
they can tell you to piss off.
They can.
I've worked at companies where the contract manufacturer has told us to piss off. We don't want to do business with you anymore.
And why did they say that?
Well, one reason we weren't giving them enough business. The other reason they didn't like. No, the other one was that they didn't like some people within the company. So they would not deal with us anymore.
All of this stuff is easily smoothed over with Benjamin Franklin's and Hamilton's and other denominations with presidents' face or with famous faces on it. Yeah, but money can cure all those evils because if Foxconn won't do it,
it's still not your company.
It's still not your company. But you know what? At the end of the day, when the hardware doesn't work out long term, like the Nexus Q and other projects that Google's done, then you're not stuck with a manufacturing facility. You have to lay everybody off.
Okay, where does the profit go when you hire Foxconn?
Probably in your pocket. And Foxconn gets razor thin margins. There's been tons of stories about that. That's why.
But where does the money ultimately go? It goes back to China. It's going out of the US. You're funneling it out of your country. You're planning your country's own demise.
No, I mean, okay.
I'm being a bit
how about this, Dave? Where do you buy resistors from? There is no domestic component production of anything.
That's why if you had $100 million, why not set up your own $100 billion? Why not set up your own resistor manufacturing facility? Yeah, we can do all this in America now.
You could,
or all this in Australia now.
But I wouldn't want to. Would you want to? You want to make resistors? Back. I mean, maybe
I would love. If I had an infinite amount of money, I'd love to set up manufacturing facilities.
There is one reason to do that.
If you didn't give a shit about making money,
no. There's only one reason to do it, and it's for security. It's for security of supply chain because. Even Apple gets turned down sometimes, but most of the time they don't. They come in, they buy the whole fab's worth of chips because they're Apple, and then they ask for the price they want because they're Apple. Companies just fall over themselves to do that kind of stuff because the almighty buck, it rules.
Countries like Australia, you want to know what's happening here?
Sure.
Countries like China are coming in and buying everything. They're buying all our land, they're buying all our companies, they're buying all our assets, everything, right? We'll have nothing left. That's why this sort of stuff, you do it because you want to save your country.
I don't know where to come down on that, but I disagree with the mandating that it be, if you need to get up and running fast, you pay the money. This is the same.
Of course,
this is the same argument I was having with a friend.
Argument. Come on.
No, no. It's the same argument we're having because. If you want to get up and running fast, you pay for it. It's what?
Of course.
Speed, cheap. You can have something fast.
If you want to get up and running fast,
cheap.
you don't start your own company from scratch.
Right. So that's what you're saying, though, aren't you?
I never said that.
Yeah, you are. You're saying start. Yeah, you just said, it should be an Australian company or an American company. No, man, hire them. If they're doing it locally, that's a bonus. You get faster feedback cycles.
Oh dear, you're not thinking fourth dimensionally. Unbelievable.
Well, I think I'm well spent, but I do want to make this point because I was arguing with my friend about this. He's talking about this work he needs to have done, and he said, I can get an intern. I can get 2 interns for a decent rate for the entire summer, and I think I can get all this great work done. I'm like, okay, well, that's good, but why not
You got to train them.
Yeah, exactly. You have to train them. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Now, before I go any further with that, there is value in training them, namely that, you can show them how you want to do stuff yourself, and obviously it gives back to the community and everything else. But if you have stuff you need to get done...
there's the key point. Back up.
Okay.
Giving back to the community, the local thing, rather than just farming everything out. Sorry.
Yeah, no, really. I mean, that is a valid point. I mean, yeah, but
thank you very much. Yes.
Okay, but on what scale, right? Do you do that on everything? Do you do that on?
If I had $100 billion, I'd like to. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well then.
And who the hell are you to tell me I'm doing it wrong?
Well, no one, unless you pay me to, and then I'll tell you anything you want.
Oh dear.
But yeah, I mean, so I don't disagree with. Wanting to support communities and everything else, but if you're a business and you're trying to get stuff done and you're trying to make money on a new product and you're trying to scale up enough that it, you actually can build a lot of something, you might have to make some sacrifice. And one of those might be that you're hiring a CM to hire other people locally. Because they're not going to be able to hire people at China wages. I know that. Not in California.
Definitely. No.
When
do you get your Google Glass?
Okay, so here's the other thing. I don't know.
Right. A year down the track? Because they have to set up the local manufacturing facility, right?
Oh,
Even if it is
yeah.
Foxconn, you're hiring the experts, right? Yeah, they've got to set up that fab, right? It'll all be custom tooling. These things are, not just stuff in some boards, right? This is, very precision, careful, high-tech manufacturing with 100% custom tooling for everything.
Right.
It's, so...
Yeah, they were guessing the end of the year.
Why not just set up your own from scratch?
No way, man. You know the difference there.
Poach people away from Foxconn. Get them out of China, right? Bring them in on your, your visa programs or whatever, your skilled visa programs. Bring them in and pay them real wages and, poach the talent.
Yeah, well, that could get us into a deep, dark hole about visa programs in the United States, but I can tell you...
Who cares? You're a big enough corporation, you buy off the politicians. What's the problem?
They just run out. They go within like the first month. Every H-1B is gone. So they're not easy to get. And I think F1s
they are for big companies that have politicians.
No way,
in
man.
their back
They're the ones
pockets.
who buy them up quickly.
Yeah, man.
They're the ones who buy all the H-1Bs. Don't kid yourself.
Who?
Big companies do, because they can afford it.
Yeah, we're talking about Google here.
Right, but I'm saying that they run out. There's a finite amount in the United States, and they all go very quickly. So even if you wanted to buy them all up, there'd only be so many. I think there's only... Nah, I'm not going to guess. But like I said, that's a deep, dark hole we can go down, but...
There's always a loophole.
I suppose.
Or you're in the politician's pocket, buy them to ride a loophole.
Okay, well, I think that...
No problem.
I think when the conspiracy theory stuff comes out, we have reached the end of that rant.
Conspiracy theorists? You don't think your politicians are bought and paid for?
No, I don't. But,
you're living in fairyland, dude.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, dear. America.
Yep. So, yeah, speaking of New York, I was just there this weekend, though.
You were. Tell us about it.
So I was in town just visiting some buddies, but I decided while I was there, I might as well try and get some geek touring in, which I hope all of our audience tries to do as well. I usually try and
minus she who must be obeyed, of course, because she wouldn't let you go on geek tours.
That's a good point. Yes, my wife decided that it was going to be a dude's weekend, so and all the other guys' wives decided the same too, so that helps. But yeah, so it was me and my buddies, and we went around to... I always like going to hacker spaces when I'm in town, so we went over to NYC Resistor on... What day was that? On Saturday morning, and got to meet some cool people, and that's a cool little space. I didn't realize they actually have two spaces there. Because they expanded to have like heavy industries, it's called, so they have like a machine shop.
All right.
And what's surprising is they actually, New York in general doesn't have a tech shop at all, which I was surprised by. Because there's been a lot of good, got a lot of good press about tech shop lately. There was a good video by Robert Scoble that was posted last week with the COO of Tech Shop, Mark Hatch. And, it was just good to see all that stuff, but, New York doesn't have one yet. Obviously, Cleveland doesn't have one yet, which needs to be remedied.
Australia doesn't have one yet.
Yeah. They have like 3 in California, 1 in North Carolina, right around the Research Triangle, 1 in Pittsburgh, which is daringly close, and then 1 in Detroit, which is like also in the other direction is pretty close. It's about 3 hours each way. So we're getting there. We'll see.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
I thought you had one in Cleveland.
No, that Larry Sears, who was on the show previously, he's working on something similar at Case. My alma mater.
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah, it's not a tech. It's not a branded as tech shop, but it's going to be a similar kind of thing.
Right.
And I think they're going to have some public access, so that'll be helpful. And there's a bunch of Fab Labs in Cleveland too, so we got some stuff, but you always want more. You should start one in Sydney. You should just franchise.
Oh, yeah, I'll start one with the infinite amount of time and money that I've got.
Well, just hire people. If you got infinite money, you can just...
with the infinite amount of time and money I've got, yeah.
They actually have a thing on their website, on the Tech Shop website, to say if you, like, inquiry if you want to start one. So I filled that out at one point. And
right.
They haven't called me yet, but maybe someday.
I would love to do something like that, because, like, there is a ton of vacant space.
Yeah.
In my building.
Tell me about it in Cleveland,
Seems
man.
like everyone's leaving. I must be talking too loud,
Oh, yeah, I saw you tweet about that.
Or I'm stealing their garbage from the garbage room.
Why does that guy keep walking in our room? We use that as the server storage room, and he just keeps taking stuff and tearing it apart on YouTube.
So, yeah, I always think about that. Oh, look, I'd love to rent that space and turn it into a,
Yeah.
some sort of hacker space or something. That'd be
cool.
awesome. But, yeah, well,
It's expensive. You do have to charge it and rent.
yeah, it costs money, yeah. It's expensive. It'd be, I don't know, I think it'd be 12,000, 15,000 a year or something for a space the size of mine.
Oh,
something like
no,
that.
that's way too small.
Yeah, exactly. yeah, it's only, right? So, a bigger one, it'd be $30,000, $40,000 a year.
Oh, yeah, it'd be in the millions, right?
Yeah.
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 Well, yeah, and so that video with Mark was, was talking about the value just to, it's like $120 a month for the California one. Seems like a lot of money for like being a member, but you can, you get access to a lot of crap, especially in denser populations.
You would want to be serious at $120 a month. That's a very, that's a serious expense. That'd be one of your biggest expenses.
Yeah. That's no gym membership you ignore. Although some people do CrossFit, which is like $200 a month.
Oh,
yeah, those guys are crazy.
Gym's I think $36 a month.
Yeah. So but got to meet up with some good people. Bill, one of the Hackspace members, and then Matt Richardson from Make stopped by, and we all hung out. And Sophie Kravitz, who's one of the former writers on engineer blogs with me. So we all hung out.
Yep.
Good times. Good times we had a while. And then yesterday, I got a chance to meet up with John DeCristofaro, and I got a tour around the new Adafruit space by Phil.
Excellent.
And said hi to Lamore, and cool new space. Yeah, that's cool. And then met up with Matt again.
Huge, I've heard.
Oh yeah. Really big space. And so yeah, they just launched a new show too. So I got to hear about that yesterday. That new their new puppet show. It's kind of cool.
Puppet show?
Yeah, they're doing they got some cool like stuffed puppets. They're like 555 timers and resistors and LEDs and stuff.
I've seen those. Yeah, they're very cool.
Yeah, I like the names. They named the resistor Mo.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
the
exactly.
555 timers named Hans.
Yeah, it's great.
So it's really cute, and hopefully it does help kids and stuff too. It'd be really great if it does. So
yeah, fantastic.
Yeah, and then just kind of toured around to other stuff. Matt Richardson showed me around the school he's at, in the shop there, and that was, there's just a lot of I saw a friend space too, and the really interesting thing was, my other friend works at a software startup that does educational stuff, and the thing that blew me away, there's two things that blew me away. One was just the density of people, because obviously there has to be there, just smaller desks, and no one has their own bench.
It's New York.
Right.
I thought that was a given.
Right, but I mean, I'm used to I walk into an engineering space and I'm like, oh, well, where's your bench? And there's just there's no room for it, and a lot of times it's software type stuff, so it's like you don't need a bench. So that was the first striking thing, and then the other striking thing was that in Matt's space and my friend's space, there was artists all over the place, right? So not that that's a weird thing in general, but it was just different for me because I've never worked at a location with artists before, and right. You think whiteboarding is fun with engineers, man. You let an artist at a whiteboard, and it's just it's awesome, and
yeah.
And so that was really great. I mean, just to kind of see that culture, I never really experienced that before. I have some friends who've done engineering installations, but I've never really seen that in progress as much as, and it wasn't a big group of people. It was more of one-on-one stuff. So
we had that at Altium. We, they had an arts department.
Oh, really? What kind of stuff?
More artists and programmers.
Yeah.
And so doing product packaging and and ads and things like that.
Yeah.
And all sorts of Photoshop graphics arts.
Yeah,
things.
I guess I've been places with that.
Fantastic.
But I've never how much did you interact with them though? That's the thing. It's
yeah, exactly. They're
it's like it's just like a siloed group.
It's like marketing, It's just like another version of it's like another subgroup of marketing. Really.
Right. Yeah. In this case, though, it was like the product was art and technology product, and I guess Adafruit too. I mean, they have tons of stuff like that too, and just that it was just really different for me. I mean, I've just never really seen that kind of co-working space. I guess you don't even call it co-working space. I've just never seen companies like that in person. So,
yep,
it was great. It was really great.
Cool.
I was glad I got to walk around and see everybody.
And you'll be back in New York?
Yeah, sooner.
Probably next year by the time they
sooner than later.
Get around to manufacturing this Google Glass.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. All right, shall we get on to something else?
Sure. What next? Should we do electronics?
We have... Oh. This was bound to happen.
Yeah.
Tinkercad have gone bust.
Yeah. This is
It's like told you so, like...
Well, we should say they're not electronics, though. They're a CAD program. I mean, they're a 3D
they're CAD. But, hey, this is one of these online CAD companies, right? These web-based CAD companies, and they... Cloud-based, yeah, exactly. And do everything online. And, well, they've just suddenly decided to... shut up shop and go on to their next startup.
Well, not suddenly. They're giving some time to.
Oh, they're giving time to extract your files off there or something. But whoop-de-doo, it's like, they aren't even keeping the thing going. They're not going to open source it. They're not going to do anything. It's like, see ya, we're just shutting up shop.
Yeah.
Thanks for all the fish.
Yeah.
But it
rubs you the wrong way.
When you don't have a real like you can't even keep it going, right? Yeah. You can't even. I presume, right? You can't just because it all exists on their server in the cloud, right? The actual processing of it all. It's not like you can keep this program running for the next 10 years because you've invested, which we've talked about before. Using old CAD programs or old compilers or something like that. Having to keep these old systems alive to support. Your things into the future, and well, you can't do that with this.
Yeah, it's tough
because as soon as they decide to shut up shop, that's it.
Yeah, when they don't give like a path for transitioning either. Like, I mean, you could always export to like a generic format and then try and import it somewhere else, but it's not like you're going to be able to natively export their shapes and then re-import them because that's a significant amount of work in the first place. At least as far as I understand it. Maybe I missed that part, but I thought it was just kind of like, see you later.
Right.
Yeah,
and they've gone on to do something called Airstone, an interactive simulation environment powered by a supercomputer. So they went, oh, well, we got bored with Tinkercad. Let's just do another startup, and abandon that. Like, yeah.
It's tough, man. I mean,
bound to happen.
Anytime you start up, I mean, I felt this with like the engineering commons too. It's like there was reasons I decided to give it up, but like people can say, oh, well, only start things that you intend to finish, but when do you define a finish point, right? There's always going to be someone. Well,
I have no problems with them. That's fine, right? You do a startup and you realize it's not working, or you're getting bored with it. Fine, okay, move on. But the problem here is you're providing an online tool that people are investing their future in.
Yeah,
right.
That's true.
And relying on that tool. It's not like you're selling a product and you can just not decide to sell it anymore. Right. It's it's a different ball game with this. So, I think you need to have more commitment to it, or
just a path,
maybe,
right? You need a path.
Yeah. Well, but of course, as a user, you've got to be aware that this is possible too. So in essence, you can't blame the company. Really, it's their decision to shut up shop, and well, if you're not happy with that, well, it's your stupid fault for choosing that tool to begin with, because you know that can happen.
Yeah.
They can just shut up shop, or they could all get hit by a bus tomorrow, and boom, the company's just vanished.
Yeah, I mean,
right? I mean, seriously, right?
Yeah, if you're listing risk on a purchase, right? If like that's the other tough part is that a lot of times, these start as free services, and they get users started like that kind of thing, and if it not that I condone the $10,000 licenses, because I don't, but if you were trying to switch from a $10,000 license to another $10,000 license, you're going to do so with some trepidation and some kind of analysis. And at that point, you might say one of the risks of changing is we might not be able to support, we might not be able to get this stuff in the future, right? And with lower cost software or stuff like this, you don't have that necessarily baked in. It's not something you have to consider because it's just like, oh, it's free. So it's just a hidden cost, a hidden risk. So
right.
Yeah, it's makes you wonder if it's I doubt it's doom and gloom. It's not the last time you're ever going to see a CAD software or a cloud-based CAD software. We see this with other
we've
services.
talked about half a dozen of them.
Yeah, Upverter
and I'm about to talk
Circuits
about another one.
And Circuit Lab and tons of them.
Well, here's another one. They contacted me and, can you, talk about us on your blog? Well, can't do it on the blog, but we can do it here on the radio show. And it's not a CAD thing, but it's very similar. It's called Sand Squid. Mm-hmm. So sandsquid.com, as in beach sand, and squid as in squid. And it's because it's an
calamari?
ocean of electronic parts. You see,
right.
Yeah. And I love the little symbol. It's and yeah, it's an online bomb thing, right? It's another online bomb. There's a few of them out there.
Yeah.
And you can track your stock and you can optimize your costs and you can combine bombs and blah, blah, and search. I think it ties into, I haven't tried it, but I think it ties into all the, the component, fine chips and other companies and DigiKey and all that sort of stuff. So DFM, Designed for Manufacturing tool.
Yeah. Right,
I
but
guess
also
but then
please give us your data, and then we'll give you a service for that.
Yeah.
Pay with
well,
data.
Yeah, at the moment it's a free thing. They just want to build up numbers.
Oh
but
well,
you
no,
I
it's
don't
not
know
free.
What their
There's no
terms of
free.
service are.
Remember when there is no cost,
okay.
the product is when the product costs nothing. That means you are the product.
Right,
and that's true for all these things.
Yeah, granted. Yeah.
Like
yep.
Like Mint.com, the financial services thing. I know that I am the product there, right? They are using me in aggregate to look at all my financial data and lump me in with a bunch of other people. And
technically, we do the same thing as well as actual bloggers, right? All of the Amp Hour content's free. All of my EEV blog content's free. All of your blog content is free, right? But what we get back is we get
I'm waiting for
data
this.
On our regular viewers.
What do we get back, Dave?
Not data, but we get X number of viewers, right? And then in
internet bucks.
In my case and our case, yeah. And then that pays my full-time living, right? It attracts advertisers. That's, so it doesn't cost you anything to watch my show, but by watching my show, it enables me to make a full-time, income from it. So
yeah, well, that's an attention-based thing.
Yeah, it's a... But yeah, I'm not sure what their terms of service are.
Yeah, I'm looking at them now. I mean, it looks like pretty generic. If we mess up, it's not our fault.
Yeah, all that sort of jazz.
Yeah, the links.
And once again, the same, rules apply here as the Tinkercad thing. If you rely on this thing, if you build your design workflow around this tool, this online tool, and they go bust or change it or decide to shut up shop or get hit by a bus, then, well, it's all over Red Rover and your system's all screwed up.
Yep.
So...
Yeah, it's tough, and sometimes I've seen these decisions being made by coworkers before with like software and stuff, and a lot of times, they'll look at open source solutions, closed source solutions, and everything else, and they just go straight for the supported one. Because when you're paying money, you got someone to yell at, you got someone to
that's right.
chase down. It's not a faceless entity, Hopefully there's other customers. Not always the case.
Right.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. There's always that kind of crowd mentality you need too, where they're getting that critical mass to kind of take the leap. No one ever wants to be first, and every company wants to pretend they're already full of users.
Right.
You ever had that happen before, where you start using a chip and you're like, "Oh, I was having this problem. Has anyone else had this problem?" And they look at you and they're like, "Well, there's just you," because that is a terrible feeling.
It is. I know.
I've been duped.
Yep.
Well, I guess
always have a backup plan, folks.
Oh yeah. Well, you never want to be the one. I mean, unless you have the time or you're getting such a good deal that you're it's worth it. You never want to be the one finding the errata. You know, if there's a piece of silicon that gets changed because of you, you're going to have a bad time.
I've been there, done that.
Yeah.
I've used, alpha silicon. This is our, this is our,
beware.
because we needed the leading edge, bleeding edge thing. Look, we're developing this new chip, for your requirements.
Yeah.
Well, hey, congratulations! Slap on the back. Here you go.
Yeah.
You get to debug it.
Yeah. Maybe I'll give you my requirements and come back after it's been used a little while. That's how it feels sometimes.
Yeah, because I used to work in an industry where silicon would be developed for not more than like half a dozen customers. There'd be half a dozen major players in the industry, but volume was high because they'd use them in the millions, right? So it was worthwhile to the major chip companies to make this silicon for half a dozen customers, and we were one of them.
I don't know, man. I think we're kind of moving back, not necessarily in the exact same way, but with a lot of the analog chips, they're moving to the ASSPs, the
application specific.
Yeah, I forget what the other S is though. But basically, like a lot of the highly integrated, system on chip type stuff. Like, you're probably going to have components that are tested individually. You might have an A to D in there. You might have power supply that's internal. But if they hook up the wires wrong and you're a smaller market, it's very targeted towards your market, then you might run into some problems. Oh, you wanted a pin
that happens with mainstream chips. Any one of the semiconductor makers, any one of the microcontroller manufacturers, for example, who produce 500 variants of their microcontrollers, right? If you choose some obscure one that hardly anyone else is using, odds of you finding a silicon bug are going to be reasonably high.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, best case scenario is you're just getting a feature that they unlocked.
Because ultimately, somebody has to find those silicon bugs, and it's not always the manufacturer doing their, exhaustive testing on their new product.
That's right, folks. Every time you read an errata sheet, make sure you take a moment of silence for the poor engineer that was at his bench at 2 a.m. pulling his hair out. Just take a moment of silence. Say thank you. Thank you.
You poor bastard.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, boy.
We've all been there, done that. If you haven't, well, you haven't lived. Yep.
So you are...
So that's that.
A number one...
What am I?
You are... I have a lot of things that I say about you, Dave. But you are a number one engineer to follow on Twitter. Did you know about that?
I came in at number 10.
That's right, you did. I didn't know which way it went, if it was up or down.
And then, ironically, I bitched and ranted about how shit their website was actually listed the damn thing because it wouldn't let you view it.
Yeah.
You had to sign up or something to view more than 2 pages, and I was on page 10.
They have
piss off.
Registration wall now. It's like, oy.
Who was it? EDN?
E-Times for that one, yeah.
E-Times, yeah, well, we've talked about them before, haven't we?
Yes.
So, thanks for putting me on the top 10 list, but hey, by doing so, you get a serve. Because this stupid registration rule
hopefully they change it. I don't know.
Why post? I hate that, right? If you're going to post a Twitter link to some, like they proudly posted this, and then everyone was reposting it to me. Hey, look, you're on the top 10 list.
Yeah.
And I'm going, great, okay, but if you're a company and you're going to post something like that, make sure it's readable.
Yeah, I agree.
Without having to join. I mean, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah, we were all having our. I think you were sleeping when it all came out, but we were having our little rants about it too, and then Kathy, who's in charge of UBM Electronics, was trying to calm us down. It's like, ooh, well, caught some attention there. Okay.
No such thing as bad publicity. Hey.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well.
Yeah. I agree. I don't agree with that. Because they moved to that. Like each page is a new link too, and it's like, okay. I mean, I know they're trying to get their page views up and everything else, and it's like, I get it. I get the business. It's not great, but man, I don't know what the answer is, and I don't think that's it.
No, exactly. Yeah. How about this? This is a novel concept. Just produce good content and they will come and continue to come.
Yeah, it's expensive, right? I mean, it's expensive. It's an expensive proposition, but there's got to be something in there. Honestly, I don't know the answer. I don't envy them in that regard, but I agree that the only stuff I really care. I guess I care about industry news too. I'm not sure about other, how much like people care about like buying and selling of companies. I don't even know if I care about that really, but general EE Times is business stuff. But yeah, the design stuff is what really I think most engineers care about. So,
yep.
If you want to grab our attention, that's how to do it. More design stuff. We like it.
I'm just peeved off that they, tweeted the thing. Look, have a look. Here it is. Go and have a read. Yet you can't.
Right.
Right? There's a trap. I mean, sure, okay, if you want to do that on your website and have the content hidden, fine. And you have to register, fine, that's your choice. But then don't publicise it as if, look, just click here and you'll be able to read it. And you can't. It's bullshit. Yeah. News companies do it too, right? You go to, various...
Wall Street Journal's the worst
New
for
York
that.
Times and Wall Street Journal
They're the
or whatever,
worst.
right? Yeah, and they give you, like, the first paragraph.
Right.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
Here's the news story. Click here, right? And it's their official tweet or something. And you click here. Great. I want to read this news story. And it's the first paragraph, it's like, piss off.
Well, it's interesting because there's a lot of other news companies that are moving to like who was it, Andrew Sullivan, he's a blogger I don't even know about, but like he actually is asking for subscriptions now from people. Like he'll give you so many in a month, just kind of like how New York Times does, and then after that, you have to pay. But it's a significant amount. It's not 2, it's like 20.
Right.
So if there's a certain threshold of like power users that will pay for that stuff. So I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Maybe that's the way to do it, but I do not know the answer. If I did, I'd be making lots of dough from it.
Yeah, I think they're just betting the wrong horse there. I mean, it just pisses engineers like us off. If you have to go to these technical, these magazine websites or these technical websites and, and you've got to register to just read stuff. It's just, it's bullshit. You would get more, and they do it to get you into the funnel, right? Yep. So that you're in the, so that your name and all your details are in there, so they can, and they actually sell it. I've posted links. To their marketing material, right? That they give to the advertisers, and they say, and they will even sell your database, right? They will sell you as, they'll sell your contact. You can go to EE Times and buy a list of all of their contacts, right, for X many tens of thousands of dollars, right? You pay it, and they will send like an email blast to their, 50,000 registered fake accounts.
I was waiting for it.
A lot of people do that, right? Yeah. Oh man.
Well, okay. Well, yeah, that's a thing, We made a list. Oh, I was on there too. I don't know if we said that, but I was number 2.
Oh yeah,
Jeff was number 1.
Oh, were you?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you didn't even look at it, did you?
Well, I couldn't.
I know.
Oh, bastards.
Yep.
Anyway.
Actually,
thanks for that honor.
One article from E! Times that I saw recently that I did like. All right, this is old though, but I was searching through about A to D's and stuff, and this is a pretty good article from back in the day. So I don't know, I'll post it, but I don't know how much you care about A to D's these days. Are you doing an A to D stuff these days?
Oh, I'm always it's always on my mind.
Yeah.
There's always a requirement there to do some sort of ADC.
I got kind of caught up in the ENOB cycle, trying to figure that crap out.
Yeah, effective number of bits. Yeah.
Well, because there's effective number of bits, and then there's also effective resolution. Then there's SINAD and all that other stuff. And yeah. And so there's good articles about it. Bonnie Baker always has done really good stuff with that. She's from TI. I always like her stuff. Baker's Dozen. But then there was another one here by Steve Logan from Maxim, and this is another good one. I mean, so there's a lot of good information out there, but it just really gets confusing about all the RMS and everything. I don't know. It's like I always, whenever I get deep into it, I'm like, oh, math. I remember this.
Yeah, exactly. This is the stuff you learn. When you learn ADCs, you learn about all this crap, and then you promptly forget about it. So you've got to, Yeah.
It's
And there's lots of formulas that go behind it. And there's lots of theory, you know. If you want to really if you're serious about your analog to digital conversion, like you're,
like quantization and INL and DNL.
Yeah, and if you're doing, designing a 10 gig sample per second ADC front end for an oscilloscope or something, you've got to know your shit.
Yeah, definitely.
And you can't just buy an off-the-shelf chip and whack it in there with the banner specs and go, oh, yeah, she'll be right.
Yeah.
It's...
No, I put down the resistors.
Work.
I'm cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, boy. Yeah, it's serious business, so...
Yeah, so this is a really good, in addition to all the Bonnie Baker stuff, I really like this article, so I'll post it. It's good stuff.
And you don't have to register for it. It's just there.
You don't, not this one. So...
Yeah. See, why do they give some in-depth thing like this for free, yet some little fluff piece about the top 10? Because that's what it was. It was a fluff piece, right? I went in and read the first one because I was allowed to, and it's like, it doesn't really tell. Like they, at least have a couple of paragraphs or something, on each person. And then I finally was able to figure out how to hack the thing to get to my page, and I read my page, and it doesn't say anything about what I tweet. It's dumb. It was a fluff piece.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yet this great technical content, detailed content, fantastic, free. What? Why?
I don't know.
Unbelievable.
Another good resource for this stuff, since I'm already on it. So I really like that the YouTube stuff and the video stuff the chip companies have started doing. Not started doing. They've been doing it for a while. I guess this one's from last year.
Have.
But Matt Duff from ADI, he's actually he does some really... You see him post it sometimes, actually, too. Like Adafruit will post them sometimes, and Dangerous Prototypes will do it sometime, too. And I've actually met Matt before, and he's a really bright dude. And he does some great videos on this. And so in that case, right, they're getting lots of great views, and I'm more likely to go and check out the parts he's talking about, because they always, it's kind of like the Jim Williams method, right? It's like I'm likely to go actually look at the parts he's talking about, because there's all this application
great
stuff attached
application
to it.
Stuff. Yeah, exactly.
So it's tough for a third-party company, maybe, but I don't know. Maybe if the EE Times of the world is trying to do that kind of stuff, they just, hire people to make these kind of videos and application side of things, and then boom, then they can sell the referral to different chips. I always told them, I think I mentioned that on the show before, but I always wanted to see them do facing off of different chips. That's what I want to see.
Right.
I want to see battle royale between chips. Battle to the death. You can even have different apps engineers from different companies. You can do like a game show if you wanted to.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Don't let it end up like the famous Altium one.
Oh, was there one?
Oh look. Oh dude, if you haven't seen it, Tech Tonight.
Oh, no,
I think
really?
it's called Tech Tonight. Oh, dude, we're going to have to post this in, because it is...
Were you on it?
No, I was not in it, but I remember all the talk within the company when we did it, and it was it was embarrassing, really, and they spent so much time and effort on this and money.
Yeah.
Actually producing this thing, and it's just shit.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, well, it's great, it's well produced, right? But it's and they got their own domain for it and everything. I'm going to have to find it, and we'll link it in, but oh man, it's just ultimately just a total embarrassment and a fail. Let me find it. Anyway, it'll be linked in. Please check it out. It's hilarious, folks. Go to the website, and I'm sure I'll be able to find it. If they haven't removed it, I'm sure there's a copy out there somewhere.
Yeah.
So,
well, it's no surprise that you and I are fans of video, though. I mean, I think that's a good way for, I like that chip companies are starting to do that kind of stuff too. What was it? Intercell hired Jerry a while back to do that kind of stuff, and it might be a little tougher when it's you're hiring third-party companies to do it, but I don't know. I think it's a great way. I've been learning a lot from this kind of stuff too. I mean, and even just as refresher stuff, like I'm staring at the filter stuff that Matt Duff does, and I don't know. I think as companies speaking of ADI, they pulled a bunch of resources out of Cleveland because it's Cleveland.
Right.
And so, like, this is like a support thing for me. It's like not like I can't get a hold of them. But, yeah, it's not Detroit. It's not like I can't get a hold of them, but this is just good supplemental information. I think personally this is kind of the future of applications, for good and bad. It's just, and, they're not going to hire some bozo like you or me to do it because we don't know the ins and outs of the parts, so why not give away good information with your already pretty smart, FAEs that are working for you. So I think it's a good idea.
And they do want to pay peanuts too. I mean, I've had some major companies approach me to do some videos for them.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, they don't realise the effort involved.
Right.
In it. And they want to pay peanuts, and it's like, well, no, it's going to take me, a couple of days of my effort to produce a really schmick. Because they want to demo things and they want to, so you've got to set up experiments and demo stuff and everything. It takes many days to, it can take days to do that.
Yeah,
to shoot a simple 5-minute video.
Right.
And, well, I mean, yeah. And I went, and they finally did it themselves, and I think they realised, it's quite a bit of work, isn't it?
Yep.
So there you go.
Speaking of work,
I've sent you through the link to Tech Tonight.
All right,
it's still up there.
I will post. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, it's hilarious. We'll embed that.
So speaking of work, not that we did any.
Work sucks.
Yeah, work sucks.
No, I don't work for a living.
I know.
No.
But all of a good chunk of our listening audience, probably 10% of our listening audience, were nice enough to fill out the survey.
Yes, thank you very much.
So it's been,
I was surprised at the response.
Yeah, we had like 600 people so far.
And we've read your... Yeah, that's huge.
Yeah. Now...
And people left all sorts of comments, negative and positive feedback.
Yeah. This might come as a shocker, Dave. Only 3% of our listening audience is female. I know. It's a shocker. But...
I can't believe it. Mine's about 4%.
Is it? Okay. The 3% that are out there, that is so awesome. You rock. Bring your friends. But yeah, so we got all this demographic stuff, and I'll post all this stuff like I've done in the past too. It's a lot of it's expected, like age groups and stuff like that. It's usually pretty similar year to year to North America, continents that people live on and stuff like that. But yeah, it's really, really cool data. We really, really, really appreciate it. I mean, me and Dave were just complaining about dicing up data. We're not going to dice up emails or anything like that. But this does help if people want to advertise on the show and they want to know who's who. And,
yeah, we need stats for stuff like this because Yeah. But no, we don't harvest emails. I don't harvest emails, and we don't do it here on the show. And it's just evil.
Nah.
In fact, why did we? Oh, we had to ask for people's emails so that if they won the T-shirt, we could contact them, right?
That's right. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so we got a bunch of.
So we're going to draw this shit or what?
I was going to go through more of the stats first. I don't know. I think some of this is interesting.
Right, I'll go for it. Right.
I mean, a quarter of our audience is students, which is less than I actually thought. I thought more were going to be students. If you look at the actual degrees and stuff, 4% of you have PhDs, 18% have masters, 41% bachelors, 12% technical, and then that's crazy. I mean, 44% of you work in design, and then I have to apologize for that because I asked about other, and I didn't capture everything. If you're in like repair was a big one I missed. Design, and I would say that's support maybe, but. I don't know. I might get yelled at for that. 24% of you interested in analog, 23% digital, 24% firmware, 2% software. Yay! 10% robotics, and other again. That's the thing. It's like hard to capture all this stuff. So
yeah, of course.
And number one most important question: where does our audience come down on the chip printer issue?
Oh.
And I regret to announce that I am in the minority.
That I'm right as usual.
Yeah. Well, not completely. Okay, so 40% of our audience thinks it'll happen in the next 20 years. 29% don't think it'll happen in the next 20 years. 23% don't think it'll ever happen. and 8% think it'll happen in less than 10 years. So if we add together, hey, listen, if we add together, it was actually 39, not 40 for the first one. So if we add together
come on.
less than 20 years and less
stretching.
than 10 years, then we are at 47 to 53. So I'm just saying, we're pretty close, Dave.
And your original bullshit claim was that it would be 5 years.
Did I say 5 years?
I remember.
Oh, we need people to go back and listen.
It was like episode 2 or something.
Oh, jeez, yeah. And
That
then,
was
of
a
course,
long time ago in a galaxy.
in the comments, when we
Far
ask
away.
what we're doing wrong on the show, people say we talk about the chip printer too much, so we'll try not to talk about it. No, we're going to talk
Or
about
that bit where I sing Waltzing Matilda.
it. Yeah. Oh, yeah, someone did mention that. So that...
Or me whining.
Oh,
And
yeah.
we should have a no whining policy.
Yes.
And where have the bloopers gone?
They're there once in a while. It's like if we forget to hit record before or after, it's...
We don't really have bloopers. This is basically a,
No, but they're talking about like
just a record and upload
me
show.
and you BSing before the show. That's the kind of thing.
Oh, right, okay.
That's the kind of
Right.
stuff we usually used to
Yeah.
put in the quote-unquote
Well, often
bloopers.
we don't record it. It's just,
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking like 20 minutes before the show, and
Yeah.
we didn't record any
Super
of it.
secret stuff
Oh, yeah.
about, oh, crap, we forgot to look at the the survey. Yeah. But I have to say the comments were very kind of everyone. Even the snarky comments I really enjoyed and appreciated.
Yeah, they're funny.
Yeah, you guys are funny and it's really helpful. It's good to know. I wouldn't say it's we're not like looking for validation on it, but it is nice to know that we're not completely wrong on the wrong path. So
well, we wouldn't have, 6,000
yeah, that's true. That's true.
listeners if that was the case.
Yeah. So, we are going to pull for 5 T-shirts from all the people that responded. We'll do one. We can do one drawing later on if people are still interested in participating, because we know some people follow. They are catching up on episodes and everything else like that. So maybe in a month or so we'll pull a second one for anyone that's fills it out past this. Please don't fill it out again if you already have. That whole thing. But yeah, 600 people, man, that's crazy. It's like it's like 600 nerdy friends too. It's like it's great. I mean, it's just like because it's like right now it's so faceless, right? It's just me and you. But then you see names, you see what people are, what industry they're in and everything. It's like it feels good that like we're not alone. I know that you get that probably a lot more with like the YouTube channel and stuff, but it's like sometimes it feels lonely. It's just like it feels like man, I'm the only one working on this, and oftentimes it's not. It's just the only one in your area or at that time. So anyways, we had 415 people say that they wanted to be entered in the contest out of the 600. So what we're going to do is have, how are we doing this, Dave? The calculator or something?
I've got a calculator here with a random number generator, so I'm just going to use that.
Yeah. And so I sorted by
For the
email.
calculator aficionados, it's a Tandy EC4031.
Nice.
Which is, of course, a rebadged Casio.
Right.
Something or other. Yep.
All right.
And I'm going to round down too, by the way, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a random number generator, which gives you a 3-digit number from 0 to 1, and then I'm going to multiply that by 415 and then ignore the decimal points. So that's
the way to do it.
What's going to happen.
And I am probably going to butcher names. So let's do this.
Right.
Number 1.
Oh, right. I've got to give another number, do I?
Oh,
Right.
crap.
Okay. It's 0.8. It's 0.877 times 450. No. What is it? 415.
Yeah.
Hang on. 0.877 times 415. I thought I had 415 in my memory, but I didn't. 363.
363. Stephen Hill. All right. Next.
Good on you, Steve. I assume that you're actually writing these down and recording.
Oh, yeah, I should probably record that, huh?
Yeah.
Also, we
Well,
have
we
an
could
audio
re-listen to
recording of all this stuff. I don't know if you knew about that.
We have an audio recording. I think I pressed record at the start of the show.
Yeah, right?
All right, next.
That's you. You hit next.
Oh, sorry.
We shouldn't do this live on air, should we?
I know what I'm doing.
We could just put this in the blooper roll.
0.675 times 415 is 280.
280 is... Oh, boy. Oh, my goodness. Mindaugus Stumbroxkus. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Gesundheit.
Mindaugus Stumbroxkus. All right. Winner, chicken dinner.
Better you than me.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good work.
Number 3.
Number 3. 200.244 times 415, 101.
101 is... Scrolling. Kenmeyer. All right.
On you, Ken.
Number 3.
Beauty.
Number 4, rather.
I'm hoping for like a binary multiple here. 0.067 times memory recall.
Oh, that's got to be early.
27.
27. Drew Fustini. All right.
Hey, Drew. And hang on, random number. 0.742 times memory recall. 307.
307. Oh, man. Alexander Pokrovsky.
Gesundheit.
I'm so sorry, Alexander. Alexander Pokrovsky. Yes. And we will email all of you, which might have been a better idea from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. But thank you to everyone else who entered. Okay, so now the T-shirts. We are still working on them, but we will have them done soon. The way we're going to do it is so from now on, when we do giveaways on the show, though, we'll actually send out codes. A lot of people are entering their T-shirt size. That wasn't necessary. The way it works is we'll send you a code, and then you go and redeem it at the site, and you could pick whatever size you want, and usually whatever color shirt you want, too. We'll have a couple choices. So that is what we'll do for all you guys. Cool. And then with shortly after we send out those codes, we will have this first T-shirt available in the T-shirt store, and other people will be able to purchase them for a nominal fee if you're interested.
But then it won't be exclusive.
Okay, maybe we'll change it up then. But there will be T-shirts available soon. That's the main point.
And once we get around to designing it, yeah.
It started.
Should we have like a mug or something? Should we have like a coffee mug?
No, I never. Well? Who does that? Do people buy mugs from you? I don't know.
Oh yeah, I've got a 555 timer mug.
If we have mugs, it'll be a snarky mug that's just for mugs. How about that?
Right.
Like Go-Go Juice or something like that.
Do you want to tell them about our slogan?
Oh, yeah. So, the amp hour, and then the tagline is going to be, keep current. Yeah. It's good, right?
It's brilliant. Yeah. Well, we were going to steal Jeff's one, weren't we?
Oh, yeah. Well, Dave was talking about it, yeah. The Mighty Elm one.
I think we should steal it. It's his fault if he didn't trademark
That's true. Yeah. We always talk about how much we love patenting and
resistance.
Patenting and trademark is such a a well-loved thing around here. So
share the love.
Yeah.
Join the resistance.
That's right. Yep. Anything else from this week? I think we kind of hit everything we needed to. Obviously not a lot of deep.
There was nothing from the list.
No, yeah,
a couple of items, but
some
we
good
just
arguments,
spent half an hour
right?
bitching at the start of the show.
Yeah.
And you actually grew a set of balls for a change.
Hey.
That was fun.
All right. Expect more arguing from now on then.
It's no fun if people don't argue back. I mean, it's where's the fun in that?
Yeah, I've gotten that at work too. I've been, I'm usually pretty deferential to, because I get really uncomfortable when I'm not well informed. Not always, as some of our listeners told us in the comments of the survey, right? They said, don't talk about stuff if you don't know about it. It's like, okay, yeah, I get it. But sometimes we got to talk about something, But, it like
exactly.
work. It's like, sometimes I just clam up. It's like, it's just a personality trait. I'm normally a quiet guy. But, yeah, I guess on here I have to shout at you more. So,
excellent.
Yeah. All right, well, we'll see you next week, Dave. Right?
See you there.
This time?
Yeah.
All right.
I think I'll be here.
All right. Cool. See ya.
Bye.
So what you're saying is you like balls?
Yeah. Well, yeah, I do. There you go. Quote me on that.
Well, you were excited that you said, yeah, you grew a set of balls.
Oh, dear.